Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the weekly MMA Cycles Market Update. This is Gianni DePoce, your host, and today is the 28th of February, 2024. We have a conjunction between the Sun and Saturn today, but it's more than just a regular conjunction between the Sun and Saturn because Mercury is involved, all at 9 degrees of Pisces. So very powerful geocosmic aspect right now, and stocks, as I'll share my screen right here, are down a little bit. The Dow Jones pulling back from its all-time high that formed in our critical reversal zone last week. So if this decline can go on for just a few more days, we could actually form a primary cycle bottom. But if we go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ here, it's holding up a little better, consolidating near the highs. That made a new all-time high last week. No new all-time highs yet this week. But, you know, we started off over the weekend with a square between Venus and Jupiter, came into this week with Mars square Jupiter. On Friday, we have Sun sextile Jupiter. And then on Sunday, we have Venus square Uranus. So with those aspects coming up, I really cannot rule out one more pop higher to new all-time highs before we get a sustained pullback. Now, we've been a little cautious over the last couple of weeks during this rally in stocks, and for good reason. We're very late in the primary cycle. Downside risks are increasing, and with the magnitude of this rally, we cannot rule out the decline that follows the high to be very sharp, although brief. Evidence does suggest we will still eventually make new all-time highs going into the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April. But as we get later into the year, some long-term cycles are due to culminate, which does increase downside risks. Let's go ahead and take a look at interest rates on the 10-year Treasury yield. Down a little bit today, but overall consolidating near the highs. You know, bonds are also in the time band for a primary cycle low. We had a GDP revision today. Economy grew at 3.2%, and previously it was 3.3% expected. So not that significant of a downward revision. That was for Q4 of 2023. But tomorrow we have some really important inflation numbers, and I think that's probably going to move this market here, and we are going to be in the orb of the Venus Uranus square tomorrow on Thursday. So look for some wide price moves. You know, we could see a breakout to the upside followed by an abrupt reversal back down lower. That's kind of what's on my radar right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil through the USO ETF. You know, we did make a new high here. Now we are selling off. There is some divergence on this oscillator here. So, you know, with the Mars square Jupiter that we just had yesterday, could this be a high of significance? It is definitely a possibility. But with Sunset to sextile Jupiter this week, you know, it could easily reverse back higher. So I think it's going to come down to a lot on how the market interprets tomorrow's inflation numbers because, you know, the rate cut odds have been pushed back pretty significantly. You know, coming into this year, the market was expecting rate cuts as soon as March. Now we're looking at June. And interestingly, that does get us a little bit closer to the first of three Jupiter Saturn square passages, the first set to take place in August of this year. I want to take a look at GDX, the gold mining ETF. Still struggles to sustain any sort of bid. Could be forming a Lendl wiggle now. We are kind of on the outer precipice of that possibility. We're in the 10th day, so usually it's around the 9th day at the latest we see it. But if today is a low, it could spark a significant rally. Gold, on the other hand, is still consolidating near the all-time highs, which is not bearish price action, it's bullish. Silver, although, does continue to struggle. So that's something to monitor here going forward because, you know, if interest rates do eventually come down, I think the opportunity cost to own precious metals will become much more favorable compared to bonds. Take a look at the US dollar here against the euro. Still consolidating near the highs here. I do like the idea of this being a half primary cycle crest. Happened the exact day that Venus conjoined Mars in Aquarius. Sold off today, but right back up near the highs of the day. So it's still pretty choppy. I think that there's a good chance that we see a retest of these lows from October in the coming weeks and months. So just stay tuned for that. When it comes to dollar against the yen, still showing strength against the Japanese yen, which continues to be one of the weaker currencies in the Forex market. And last but certainly not least, we're going to take a look here at Bitcoin, which just continues to explode to new highs. It's almost back to its all-time high now. So this has exceeded our expectations. We had a secondary upside objective in the $54,000 to $56,000 area. So, we are late in the 15-month cycle and a high is due to form, but this is turning into a mania here. And, it looks like, this price has gone up over $10,000 in the last 3 days. So it's a pretty impressive rally here. But with Venus squaring Uranus here, I don't know, does that mean a break to new all-time highs, or does it mean a sharp reversal back lower? It's hard to tell at this point in time, but Ethereum also reaching our upside target at $3,300 to $3,500. So this was an area that we were looking to capture some gains, and it's late in the primary cycle as well, but crypto has gone parabolic before the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, so it does lend itself to the possibility that that signature could correspond with a high instead of a low. So we'll keep you posted on that. All of our reports, education, and other content can be found at www.mmacycles.com. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.